Hello everyone, welcome to a Managersim update of the game. We're not going to go around the leagues in this update. We're just going to tell you what changes have been made by Burnham in the last couple of weeks. By the time of this recording, it's January 2022. So happy New Year to everyone, and welcome to the series here on my YouTube channel. Again, if you do like this video, please subscribe or like the video because the more likes we have, the more people will access these Managersim videos basically. So let's go about these changes. There are quite a few major changes. The first one is that the demo server, I've been told, is not alive anymore. So if anyone who was on a demo server and hasn't paid on Patreon, you can't play the game anymore, I'm afraid. You're welcome to join us here at Phoenix. There's plenty of teams available, but you need to become a patron. The details of patron you can find in the beginning screen of the game. Now, these changes are really to do with the money situation that each club has personally got. There are some really super rich clubs out there, and Burnham wants that to be a thing of the past. The first thing you'll notice in the game is under the commonly opinion. You'll notice here, I don't have it here because I don't have a money problem with Nice, is that you'll have something called shareholders and investors will be getting the amount of money per week, and that's going to be taken off your capital per week. My Hammarby side did have some money that was going to be taken, about 600,000 as well, but I reduced the capita by half by investing my money into the stadium as I could because my stadium wasn't up to capacity. Um, so for here at Nice, we've only got 12 million. We're not a very rich side, so I don't have that problem. The next major change is the stadium. Each ground has now got a maximum capacity, and that will be reduced to that amount. For instance, here my 70,000 stadium can be reduced to 30,000 stadium at the beginning of next season. Now, each club's maximum capacity is different because this depends on how successful that club has been in Europe. So, for instance, Nimes have got 131,000 stadium, so they're not going to get a much of a severe drop because they've always done well or been in Europe for. So yes, but for instance, if you had a club who have fallen on hard times and had a massive stadium but maybe dropped a division, you'll see their stadium size by next season drop severely because they've not been in Europe. My Hammarby side, for instance, their capacity is 78,000. They have been in Europe, hence why, in fact, I could actually put more people into capacity and not reduce it, and it won't be reduced. Um, of course, if you have got a club that's not been successful in Europe and you've got tons of money and you can make your ground bigger, then do it because you'll be losing money because the investors will be taking money from your club per week until it's up down to a reasonable amount. Now, another way of reducing your money is investing in the youth academy. Obviously you've only got a maximum amount you can put in there, but that is a good way of getting rid of some capital, and you might even get some really decent youth players out of this. But again, the youth academy is pretty random, I think. What most people will do is the transfer market. They will go and buy players because that obviously reduces money. But Burnham has put in a sort of like a transfer embargo, I suppose you call it. Like every club is now only allowed to make certain amount of deals per season. This depends on what their level requirement is. The board will allow 16 deals. Now these deals are transfers going in and transfers going out, includes both. It does not, and I stress it does not include loan deals. Loan deals, you can make as many loan deals as you want. That does not count towards this. So the board allows 16 deals per season minus the level requirement you're on. So for instance, for Nice, it's 16 minus 3. So for instance, I'm allowed to make 13 deals per season and 13 deals only. This includes transfer deals in and transfer deals out. So this will hit a lot of people hard, especially in the free transfer market at the beginning of the season when they try to make as many deals as possible. You remember, and also you're only allowed to make 5 bids at a time now. So for those guys who are bidding on 20 players during the free transfer market, you won't be allowed to do that. You're only allowed to do 5 continuous bids. And these bids include as well, thinking about it, all the AI bids for your players. If you want to make bids on 5 players on loan deals, even including loan deals, get rid of these AI bids because if you sell these players to yeah, get rid of these AI bids because that includes your five negotiations. Eventually, these deals will be dropped by the AI, but if you've got time, get rid of them all, unless you, of course, you really want to sell them, and you can sell players. Now, my Nice and Harmony side have gone way over the limit, and so hence why I've got the warning: we do not want you to be making any more deals at the moment, which means the board are giving you a friendly warning saying do not buy players, do not sell players, because if you do that, the board will get more and more angry, and then eventually, I think this might happen this season or definitely next season. If you make too many deals and you ignore all the board warnings, you will get fired. You will lose your job no matter how successful you've been, no matter how many trophies you won. If you keep buying, selling players and ignore all the board warnings, you will get fired and you will lose and you won't be able to go back to that club. So, again, Burnham is trying to he's done this update to try to reduce the amount of money teams have been having because the richest club in the game has got 1 billion euros, which is an unbelievable amount. I never get that much. So you need to get rid of this money somehow by investing in the stadium if you can invest in the stadium, because again, each ground has a stadium limit. So, for instance, my Nice side is going to be heavily hit here because Nice have never been in Europe, but the manager before me decides to invest money into a stadium to make it 70,000. And my stadium is now going to be reduced at the beginning of next season to just 30,000. Now, that doesn't hit me so much because my average attendance at my club had during last season in League Two was around 20,000. So I've never gone up to 70,000. Even in cup games, it never went up to 70,000. But this could hit other clubs more than me. So again, if you're, for instance, a English club that's never been in Europe, but you've got a super stadium, go and have a look at your stadium capacity if I were you and see if it's going to be heavily reduced. Clubs like Man United, Liverpool, Nimes, Barcelona, stuff like that, clubs that have been consistently in Europe, you shouldn't get your maximum capacity shouldn't be too much lower because again the capacity is due to your maximum capacity is due to how successful you have been in Europe. So if you're always been in Europe, then I don't expect your capacity to be that heavily reduced. You might even need to increase it. You could be allowed to increase it. I do not know. So go and have a look and see what capacity your stadium is going to be, and let me know maybe in the comments if your grounds could be heavily reduced by this change, or in the other way, like in my Hammarby side, for instance, I had a 70,000 Hammarby stadium, but because Hammarby done all right in Europe, I could actually increase that to 78,000, and so that's how I got rid of half my capital because Hammarby originally had close to 200 million in the bank, and I was getting warnings that for every week the investors are going to take half a million off every week until that's reduced. So one way of me stopping getting these warnings is, and I could do it, I couldn't buy any players because I reached my limit. Is I went into my stadium capacity. You won't be able to see it here because it's my other account, and I was allowed to invest 89 million into my stadium to go up because Hammarby's stadium capacity is 78,000 and I had 71,000. So it was the other way around to my Nice, for instance, that I could actually invest money and make my stadium bigger. Nice is the other way round. I have to reduce that stadium's been reduced. So obviously they're saying here now that I can't expand it anymore because the stadium is going doesn't need 70,000 people, and also it's going to be reduced down to 30,000 anyway. So that is the major changes in the game. So again, if you got a warning down here under wages, again I don't see it here at Nice because my club is quite poor. Well, it's not so rich compared to other clubs. If you got your warning down here, then the game is telling you you've got too much money in your bank and you need to get rid of it. Now again, you can get rid of it by buying players, increasing wages. If you have still got um, some deals in hand. So for instance, in transfer opinion, if you've got some deals in hand, I think the game tells you how many deals you can make, how many deals you got left for that season. It's beginning of and the board look at the last 365 days with that number. Hence, for my niece, for instance, I probably won't be allowed to make any more transfer deals until roughly, let me see, I'm level 3, so I'm allowed to make 11 deals. So let's just count. Loans again don't count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So roughly March 2032 is probably when I'll be able to start playing, buying and selling players again. So I've got a long season ahead, especially with my niece side who have just been promoted to League 2. But I can get loans in, so I should be fine. Again, loan deals do not count. You can make as many loan deals as you want to, but be careful on buying and selling players. Again, if you ignore the board warnings, you will eventually get fired. The board will think, oh, he's ignoring us all the time, so you will get fired. So keep an eye on that. Again, on the info screen, it tells you how many deals you can make. And also, if you're super, super, super rich, Burnham has put in a little thing now that you will be losing a lot of money per week until it goes down to a reasonable amount. So for those clubs who are super rich, this is going to take you seasons to get down unless you find other ways of reducing your money. And again, the other ways is Youth Academy or buying players if you can buy players. Uh, which is going to be tricky trying to buy players because I think the transfer market has been very poor for the last couple of seasons. It might actually get richer now because a lot of players, a lot of clubs are not actually buying players now. Those clubs who buy players and 6 months later they sell them and try to make a profit, those days have gone now because think about it. If you buy a player on a free transfer, that's a deal. Then 6 months later, you sell that player. That's a second deal. That's two of your allocated number gone. So remember, it's the board are only tell you they can only, you can only make 16 deals minus the club level. So for instance, again, my niece side can make 13 deals. So those sides, like let's go to Neems for instance. Neems are a level 8 side, world class. They will only be able to make 8 deals per season. That's it. The higher level you are, the less deals you'd be able to make. So a level 1 side is quite good. They'd be able to make 15 deals per season. Again, this is players going in, buying players, and players being sold. It includes both. And again, it does not include loan deals. So let me know what you think of what Burnham's doing about getting the money down and also the reduced capacity, stadium capacity, and also the demo server saying goodbye. Has anyone who watching this video come over from the demo server over to Phoenix? If you do, welcome and just make yourselves known in the comments. Again, please subscribe or like the channel if you do like this video. And for my next video, we'll probably show you around the leagues. It's just beginning of the season, so nothing worth showing. Nothing has started yet. But again, thank you for your time, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. And again, comment, like, subscribe. Chat to you all soon.